Hi everyone! In this video we're going to talk about variable expressions. This is the very beginning concepts on how to solve algebraic equations. So in order to know that, you're going to have to know about variables and expressions and how to manipulate those. So a variable is a letter or symbol that represents an unknown value. That letter or symbol can be anything. It just is going to represent the number as an unknown. So if we don't know what the value is, we represent it as a variable. An expression is a math sentence without an equal sign. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking these variables, we're going to give them a value, and then we're going to plug them in to these expressions, and we're going to solve them. Here's a few examples for you. So, for example, and if you remember from my last videos, when I write EX, that means example. For example, if I have the expression A, B, now, think back when you learned this, two letters or numbers put together like this means multiplication. We used to put A times B. Well, we don't want to write it that way because that looks like an X since we're working with variables now, and that gets very confusing. Then we moved on to A with a dot and B. Okay. Now that you're in a little bit further on math, we're going to get rid of that dot and we're just going to write this as A times B. Okay, and we're going to say that A has a value of 3 and B has a value of 5. Okay, this is just an example. I just made these up. Every problem that you see for this will give you the values and then you plug them in. So in place of A, I'm going to be writing the number 3. And I'm going to put some parentheses around these because they're now numbers, they have a value. So I don't want to write just the two numbers together because then it's just going to look like another number. So I want to use my parentheses to separate those out. So A is the number 3, B is the number 5. And if I want to simplify that down to an answer, I'm going to take 3 times 5. Well, we know that 3 times 5 is 15. So this expression simplified down with these values is 15. Now I'm going to put some more expressions up here. We're going to use the same values the whole time. We might get some crazy answers, but that's okay. We're going to go with it anyway. All right, number 2. What if I have the variable expression A divided by B? A divided by B. Now a fraction bar means division. Sometimes you'll see this written as A with a division sign and B. Those are exactly the same thing. Okay? Either way, I'm taking A and I'm dividing it by B. Now, as you can look ahead, you can see that if A is 3 and B is 5, well, that's going to be an interesting division problem. I'm going to have 3 up there, and I'm going to have 5 down here. Well, if you notice, that's already an answer. That's the fraction 3/5. If I wanted to divide that a little more, I could take 3 divided by 5 over here along division. And I could say, well, 5 doesn't fit into 3, so I got to put a decimal point. And when I put that decimal point, I bring it up here. And after a decimal point, I can add as many zeros as I want. 3 is the same as 3.0, and 3.00, and 3.000, and so on forever. So as long as you have that decimal point, you can put another 0 out here. Okay? 5 now goes into 30 6 times. 5 times 6 is 30. I subtract, and I'm left with a remainder of 0, which means I'm done and I'm good to go. So the answer to this simplified expression is either 3/5 or 0.6. All right, we're going to go a little tougher, and I'm going to give A and B some different values here. So let's now say, we're going to use x and y this time. Let's say x is equal to the value 6 and y is equal to the value 4. Okay, so here's another example. These are going to be our last 2 examples. We're going to be 2 more difficult ones here. So on my third example here, we're going to do 2x divided by y. Well, that's a little confusing because what's that 2 doing there? Okay, so if I rewrite this with my values, when I rewrite this expression, I'm going to rewrite this as 2. The 2 is a 2. It's not doing anything. But now my x is becoming a 6. So I'm going to say that's 2 times 6 divided by that whole value divided by 4. All right, so if you think back when you learned order of operations, probably 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, somewhere around there, you learned that you multiply before division. Not always, but in this case, we're going to because the multiplication is coming first. So I'm going to take 2 times 6, and I'm going to get 12. Then I'm going to divide that by 4. 4 fits into 12 3 whole times. So the simplified value of this expression is 3. We're going to do one more, toughest one of all. Hopefully you caught up or stayed caught up so far. And this is making a little bit more sense than maybe it used to. All right, my last expression is going to have a fraction in it. So I'm going to have 1/2 times x times y plus 3. Now that is an expression. Notice it doesn't have an equal sign. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify this down using the values of x and y. So I still have 1/2 over here. Okay. But now instead of x, I'm going to do times 6. And instead of y, I'm going to sub in a times 4. And then I'm going to add 3 here at the end. All right, so multiplication, you just multiply straight across left to right. So you could, because multiplication is what we call commutative, which means you can switch it around. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. I could multiply my 6 and 4 here and then find half of that. Or I can take half of 6 and then multiply that by 4, which is what I'm going to do. So 1/2 times 6, if I take 6 and I split it in half, half of 6 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And then 12, and I'm going to bring my plus 3 down here, 12 plus 3 is 15. So my final simplified expression, this expression is worth 15 with these values of x and y. If you like the way I'm teaching, please like and subscribe to my channel. Leave in the comments any topics that you would like videos over so that I can make sure that I get out there what you guys need. Hopefully you have a great day. See you soon.